Oh, okay. So, just to remind myself, you've got a fair amount of. You've played other FPS games. This is not your first FPS game.
Yeah, it was like a 1 to 2, like probably like 2-3 years since I played like serious, like a lot of serious FPSs. But
Yeah.
but I went to like League for like 3 years. So
Okay. Okay.
and then so this is like day 3 on my like new sensitivity because at first I was playing at like 1600 DPI and 1 sense in game.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and so the funny thing is in the I don't know BSV Immortal Cup, my team actually came third as well while I was on that sensitivity. So yeah, no, now it's at 800 DPI and 0.4. So
okay,
day
so
3.
you've like
it's
okay, so
yeah,
you're like on a quarter of the sense that you were before,
yeah,
which is a pretty significant change.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there. Like I do warm ups and stuff like that before, but it's
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, like you just got to do it, right? You just have to practice, go game trainers, whatever.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing else I can
you'll
really
get
do.
used to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there's
Okay.
nothing.
So tell me, do you remember about this game? Anything in particular?
I think I had a 1 before.
It was around Diamond 1, right? This.
Yes, it's like Diamond Plat.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember anything specific about this game, to be honest.
Okay.
I think there was a clutch moment, but that was it.
Okay. Well, we'll just get into it then and see what we think.
Mm.
I like the one way.
Yeah, I know. Actually, right now, there was one of the times where I one-wayed, and I don't know what I was doing exactly, but I walked across the truck randomly for no reason instead of being set up for the one-way already as it was, and I got killed while rotating the one-way, like a potato. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I say it's a one-way. I'm actually not sure that it is. They might be able to see the other side of it.
Yeah. If you're on the if you're down like just a little like stair ramp thing, I guess, like next to the truck, it's like a temporary one-way.
Yeah.
Because if they push into the right side of a cubby, I guess we'll call it, they should be able to see your
So
feet.
you're saying that if you're playing back here on the site, that
If you're playing back
see...
there, or if you're playing in the cutout corner with the boxes, you're fine. But anywhere like closer up, they should be able to see your feet.
Yeah. Okay. Can you if you press spacebar, it full screens you. What? It doesn't pause. Did you know that? I did not know that Twitch what said that. Anyway, okay, we'll just start theatre mode. It's okay.
Yeah. Like my aim is pretty like lazy with flicking at the moment, so.
I got this last one. Election tier. Oh no, wait. Oh, you hold shit. Oh, I wasn't looking at you. I didn't trust you. I don't know why.
She's rushing.
I got a half one. You got a half defuse. You got time.
Fine. Okay. We'll try and get through this. And you can do that. Great. Which is 10 seconds. Wow. Okay.
That was like 2 days ago, though. I remember. I think this is the one I do it here. Oh wait, yeah, I'm not sure.
And then you're like, oh, I'm on the wrong side, and then you're getting smashed by pistols, and they're rushing.
Yeah. This is where I fuck up, where I'm not set up for it, and I just screwed myself for no reason.
Wait, I fucked up. Cut out. One went through to your left. Okay, yeah.
Because I'm trying to like get onto a team.
Okay, I just want to go back and look at the buy for the start of this round because it's kind of important actually. So no one buys on your team?
No, so it's a strat where we try and make sure we have full buy for 2 rounds.
I mean, it's okay. It's fine, but this is going to be really problematic because you're then, if these guys force, you lose this round.
Yeah.
And do you buy armor? You don't even buy armor because you have a full.
I normally do. I don't know why I didn't this game.
Okay, because this is a big question mark in terms of a buy for me, right? Like we should definitely, like realistically, like you having this is fine, and then one more pistol is okay, but then you should probably have at least 2 SMGs or 1 rifle. Well, no, sorry. Like having the scout is fine. Actually, since you've got 3800, you could drop your pistol to someone and buy a rifle and armor, and that would probably be the best buy you can have. Since you've got the best
Do
economy,
you
and
reckon
since you're alive, the best round. Sorry,
do you
go
reckon
ahead.
do you reckon a Guardian is good for second round? Because like normally they mainly only have light armor at most, and it's like a 2-shot.
I'd still buy a Vandal or a Phantom simply because you can then carry it forwards, right? It's not about it's not even about like having it for this round. It's so that you can carry it forwards.
Yeah.
Because like you say, you're worried about your economy being broken in the next round, but well, like let's assume you win this one, like you should. If you've bought a Phantom this round, it's fine because someone else can buy. Like you're gonna basically have at least three rifles if say like there's one other person has a pistol or two other people have pistols and then three of you have well, you've got a Phantom, say, and then two other guys have SMGs. That's fine, right? Because then they'll have two SMGs into the next round and three rifles, which is it's not ideal, right? But it's kind of like a better middle ground to maximize the maximize your economy and actually make sure you win all of these rounds. Are you stacking with your guys, by the way, or is this like just randos?
No stacking.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's a 5-man. This is. Yeah, because I fucked up big on this one with this setup.
okay, yeah, and we fucked this up, so whatever.
Yeah.
But it really it even more fucks you up because you didn't buy armor, right? So
yeah,
you're completely fucked. But this is like one of those things where, like, especially if you're 5-stacking, you should have had a discussion about what's your buy and what's your strategy for this round, right? Because if you're gonna all buy pistols, you don't want to be playing a really passive round. It's just not that effective to do that unless you're gonna play for a retake. And it tends to be pretty uncommon to do that. Most people, pistol rounds or eco rounds, you're just gonna go super aggro as 5, and that way you get the maximum value because pistols aren't particularly powerful, right? So if you group up, you can one-shot people and they're not gonna get a trade.
Yeah.
Whereas if you did that with rifles, it wouldn't be as effective, right? Because they're probably still going to kill one guy. And so it's the kind of thing you want to bear in mind in these rounds. But clearly there wasn't a discussion about this. I mean, maybe this is your strategy, but I'll be honest, I think it's bad. Because it's a good way to lose this second round, and then you aren't snowballing like you need to.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually one of your guys did buy a rifle.
Yeah, he brought us. I'm pretty sure the only thing he brought was the
Okay. See, this is
Oh wait, no, so he brought by.
Yeah, but this is fine, right? And in fact, you could have done this on 2 people, and it would have been really great. Because, like I said, you then carry those rifles into the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. We don't care about what your teammates do because it's not relevant to you necessarily.
Which one of them bought a Vandal that round? That's a big investment.
Oh, that wasn't us.
No, we bought the Vandal.
I bought it. Oh, okay.
Alright. You know, I was hella confused on why. I'm pretty sure we brought it, did we not?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this one way again.
Since you're Reyna, shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, this is predictable, right? They've
Yeah.
seen it the last 2 rounds, so they're gonna know you're gonna do this. Maybe better to change it up and do something different.
I'm pretty sure I do it every round.
Okay. Okay, if you're just gonna do it as your default every round and not necessarily peek it, then it's okay.
I heard them walking up mid. B mid.
It does. It will make them. I mean, it will at least make them question that you're there.
Definitely out B mid.
I'm gonna rotate early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'll anchor.
Couple still long, watch it.
Base wall.
So I'm pretty sure we communicate an early rotate and while Cypher holds. We'll, like
Okay, so just think about this for a moment. What would be better than doing this? So we know. Let's assume that you actually had info, because they just say there's people in front of B. I guess they hear lots of steps.
Yeah.
Rather than rotating 3 CT, what could we do that might give us a little bit of a better opportunities? Say.
We'll flank through market.
Yeah,
Do a fake.
absolutely.
I'll go through teleporter. Even fake teleport. Teleport.
Yeah, fake TP wouldn't be a bad idea either. Absolutely,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I think for me, the better play is the flank through market.
Yeah.
Because the TP play doesn't. Yeah, it's going to scare
Well, I mean,
them, but it's not going to give you more map control, right? The key for taking this is you don't necessarily have to execute a flank, right? You can just go simply as far as I've drawn the arrow, right? Just around that first corner towards to when you have eyes on market. And relax, right? You then have all that map control. You then have the early call. Oh, look, they're going back towards A. And it's great, right? You then have info, but you can also play this safe. You can, and if you really want to, you can make your flank known to the enemies, right? So that you waste some time.
Yep.
But this early in the round, it's probably not worth doing that. There's still 135 left. It's probably best just to take this flank and hold the position on the flank. And then once you have more info, you can push up further or whatever, right? And then you're going to be on a really, really fast flank.
Yeah.
Rather than going through CT. And the difficulty with going, because we don't actually have that much info here, right?
I'm gonna rotate early if you want.
Yeah, okay, I'll anchor.
Yeah.
Base wall, base wall. I'm going A, I'll get out.
Because right now, we've only seen 2.
And,
I'm gonna smoke long.
So this could be a fake, right?
Yeah, especially with them having the TP.
Well, and we see
teleporter.
there's one lurking toilets as well. But it does seem like
Yeah.
the one lurking toilets was for some reason going after the other guys.
I had raid here.
Whatever the hell was going through his mind.
so there's another one there, and there's another one planners.
Sage.
Sorry, okay, I'm actually gonna like watch what you did here rather than just focusing on what the map was.
Yeah, there's multiples in
I'm gonna smoke long.
hookah.
That's actually a really nice smoke.
Flashing long.
Can I get a heal sage? I'm rotating behind you.
Oh, he's close left again.
I had raid here in A.
Out, right side. He's in pocket, right side.
So there's another one there, and there's another one planners.
This one I just exposed too much of my body on the angle I was holding.
So there's another one there, and there's another one planners.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I don't think you knew where you were holding, right?
He's close left again.
I had raid here in A.
Out, right side. He's in pocket, right side.
So there's another one there, and there's another one planners.
Like, you only overexpose yourself if you're... Because you don't actually realize... I don't think you realize he's close right, do you? In the...
No,
in
no,
the,
no, I say. Sage 31 hookah.
But to
Pretty
be
sure
fair,
it's
realistically, you don't need to be peeking this at all.
Yeah.
Because you actually want him to drop
And-
out so that he's in your crossfire, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he even had. I'm pretty sure I still even had my second smoke out, so I could have smoked instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
you
did.
do have your
I
smoke
could have
as well.
smoked instead.
It's one of those things,
And
I
I
think, as
also
well,
have-
where you're in a man advantage. Like, why do we need to peek at all? It would be much better if you just stayed here, waited, and then... but especially
Yeah,
if you...
like I can. Yeah, well, I can smoke and then shadow step into the left corner and then crossfire the sage when he's holding the hookah ankle
when
when we
he,
jump out.
like, his elbow, right? Like, you still
Yeah.
have... If you're not peeking, you're playing bait for him, right? Maybe you peek out, you shoot a little
Yeah.
bit, and then you go back. You don't necessarily have to shoot at anyone. You just have to make your presence known. They're going to look out,
Yeah.
looking towards you, and then you peek on his contact. So what I mean by that is
Yeah.
the second he starts shooting at someone, you peek out, and you should have an angle on someone. That would be probably the better way to play this, right? Rather than
There's another one planners.
throwing this away. Because no matter what you're doing here, even if you win this duel, you're still peeking into a 1v1 when you've got a man advantage. It's probably not a good idea, right? You're giving them an advantage when you don't need to. Or sorry, you're not giving them an advantage, but you're putting excuse me, sorry, my throat's really dry. You're going into a fight in an even playing ground when you don't need to. You should play to the man advantage that you have, right? And force them into the crossfire.
Yeah.
And particularly when you have man advantages like this, you just don't need to be peeking, right? You want to play to the advantage. You want to force them into crossfires. You just play ultra passive. Because when they've got very few people, it's really hard for them to clear sites.
Oh, that's hookah maybe.
Okay, and at this point, we don't care. It's our teammates.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you. She's down.
Okay, and they win the round anyway.
Slow, and then he just swung on me. Fuck me up. I need to stop. I need to stop instinctively.
Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same smoke again.
Yeah, they're trying to.
B again.
I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times I actually just take pot shots and back off if they push it. I don't actually get trades or anything. I was smoke hookah.
Yeah, which isn't good, right?
One pushed up long.
Yeah, not the best.
So, okay. So we do the same thing again. We rotate. We have no flank control. It would be nice if you had some flank control, right? Even if you're two-man
Yeah.
pushing it with Cypher, it would just give you info if the two of you are going on this flank. Then they can't push A, right? If you're pushing this flank, there's no point Cypher being here. He might as well push with you, right? Because you've then cleared A. If the two of you push this, it's just game, right? And if you just get one kill, fine, then you just go back. And then you play really passive again because you've got that man advantage and you force them into your crossfires, which is fine. But it's more than anything about getting the info, because we don't actually, like, they're saying it's B again. I mean, maybe they heard more steps, but like, I don't know how reliable that call is. We only saw one guy on the map. They can pretty easily just make some steps and then walk back, right? And if they were good, they would have this read at this point. Well, maybe they wouldn't at this point, but if we do this continually for multiple rounds, they're going to eventually read, oh look, they're over-rotating.
They do have res, be careful.
Stage, how long until you heal?
Nah.
They're gonna res, there's no way they don't.
Yeah, she just point blank ulted me.
2v2, you got it.
I got no health.
There's one hookah, one might be long though.
Teleport.
They can rotate with
Yeah,
bomb.
I'm going back to A.
Do watch for the one long. I'm gonna go after A because I got low health. There's no point in me being. Sorry. There's no point.
Be a fake, right?
Wait, she's already on A.
Wow.
I'm gonna
So there's one
rotate
you
through
roll.
spawn.
That's not the guy that TP'd,
Pass.
but yeah.
Spike planted.
Yeah, no, he rotated back around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was hooker. So it was, again, this is like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what I'm talking about, right? If we don't push the flank, you end up in this situation where they can rotate back. Which is exactly what happened, right? He just walked back through hooker.
How did she
Yeah.
get by my tripwire without me? No.
Just jumped it. I guess.
Enemy remaining.
Nice.
I'm pushing A.
Plays two.
2v1.
Yeah, you can go for the
But again, you don't have to hard pressure the flank, and you know, you don't have to suicide for it. Because sometimes, you know, it is really difficult to pressure those flanks without dying.
Heaven. 62.
You've gotta just charge.
We weren't quite ready for that guy, I guess.
Nah,
Although you did, no, it's just too low, right? It's way too low. I mean, you're aiming at his feet, actually, pretty much.
You've gotta just
Yeah.
charge heaven, yeah.
I'd tag him for 62, but it's like if he has heal, it doesn't mean anything.
You don't have time. Hopefully she didn't hear it.
Pretty sure he gets wall banged.
Yeah, well, there's kind of nothing you could do there, right?
Yeah.
And again,
Stick it
this
as
is
it.
this is really problematic. This first peek here, he's not peeking with you. Maybe he is
I
actually.
have 2 smokes as well as ult.
He's not peeking with you,
Yeah, he's not double peeking.
right? I don't know if this is down to like a miscommunication on your front.
Nice.
I'm pushing out with you.
Plays two.
2v1.
Yeah, you can go for the blind onto site if you want.
I'm gonna stun in.
go.
Heaven.
Because where else is he going to have planted? Where else is he going to be? Right? There's like literally 2 options on this plant where he's
Yeah.
actually going to be. Sorry, I didn't mean to go this way.
You hold CT or heaven, really.
Yeah, right. And so we peek this together, we peek this together, and then we peek this together, right? I mean, it's not super difficult to do that, right? Because you don't have to over peek for this. You can simply both peek heaven, and then both peek CT, and then both peek U-Haul. And yeah, maybe he has like basically just clear that side of the site first. It's unlikely that he's gone toilets, right? But given that plant, heaven's pretty likely. But you have to communicate it so you can do it together, and you don't say anything, right?
No, I don't think
Wait,
he
can
said
you
anything.
hear the sound through the stream? I don't know if you can.
No, if you're sharing screen.
No, I need
If
to
you're
change
sharing, one or
it.
two.
Yeah.
No, but if you share
The
let's say if you
application. Yeah.
yeah.
If
I don't know if I'll be able to drawing though. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but
Try
oh,
to-
you won't be able to see the drawing, but it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
heaven.
62.
Yeah, I can
Gotta
see your
just
cursor, so I
charge
can see
heaven if you want.
roughly where you'll be talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
I'm gonna stun in.
go.
Box.
Right. All it is simple as the two of you standing here and saying, "Okay, can we peek heaven? 3, 2, 1," and then peek out, right? And this is something that like a lot of people are missing in this game right now in Valorant. People seem to be incapable of counting 3, 2, 1.
Heaven.
And it's such a big advantage,
You gotta
right?
just charge
Because suddenly you're one guy, 2 guys are one guy, right? And then that's really really powerful.
Yeah.
Double peeking things is so
Should have Stinger.
ridiculously underrated. Wait, do we not even buy this
Two
round?
of us can't buy it. Two of us can't buy it.
Oh, okay. What is he 1k? Oh, because he bought plot armor already, and then everything else. So it's actually crap money. So you do have to eco. Fine.
I'm just gonna hold close hookah with my dig. Try and get my ult up.
So this is again one of those things, right? If you're stacking with your team here, and we're now playing another eco round, we aren't doing anything different. but it's an eco round, right?
Yeah.
So it's vastly different to a rifle round, and yet we're playing it like a rifle round. So you need to consider what is the difference between a rifle round and an eco round, right? Like the fact that we only have pistols, well, what difference does that make? Typically, like I said, the typical play when you're on these kind of eco rounds or pistol only rounds is you stack up because you don't have nearly as much firepower. So if you're stacking up together, chances are you're going to get trades. And therefore you're going to have some sort of opportunity. And actually in these kind of rounds, right, the chances of you winning if you're on face value is pretty low, right? The chances of you winning with pistols versus rifles is pretty low. So that shouldn't really be your primary objective, right? Your primary objective shouldn't be, let's win this round. It should be, let's do economic damage, right? Let's get some rifles. Let's take them into the next round. Well, let's take them away from the enemy team, right? So their economy's worse, our economy's better. That's the best trade that you can look for, right? And that's another reason why excuse me, stacking up and pushing is the typical play, because it allows you to get that economic damage, right? And it doesn't matter if you've left, let's say you've left A site open, we're like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. If we're pushing as 5 people down B long and we get 2 kills, we've got 2 rifles, then we've actually got a chance into this round, right?
Yeah.
But playing like this doesn't allow you to do that, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So having some sort of strategy for these eco rounds is generally preferable.
Heard multiples. On B short.
Do you want to double
At
smoke
least one
then?
A shot.
I think I actually fucked this one.
Play close headshots here.
Smoke
Oh,
up.
it drops down.
Both hit body.
Alright,
No?
yeah.
It's okay.
When you rotate, I'll actually anchor this time.
One toe.
She's
I heard
hurt.
one.
Behind. She pushed
I
out.
heard
Fine,
one
fine.
at
On your right,
bars.
Mila.
Yeah, no.
Refy close right.
I think this is the first time I heard one buff teleport here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That
Spike
fucked
planted.
up.
I've actually got it full volume and I can barely hear it. But
Yeah, no, I have it half, like not as loud on my stream. Whoop, there goes my phone. I have it not as loud on my stream because there's normally whenever I join a game, there's like kids with like hella bad mics.
yeah,
Just
okay.
like break your ears.
Try and play up stranger.
I'm walled off, yeah.
What's your opinion on ADS?
Box, hooker.
Generally bad.
You reckon it's bad?
One's definitely back tube.
As fire rate's not worth it. You just have to be accurate, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you any sort of advantage. So this
Yeah,
again
anything
here,
is like-
That's my
right? So back to the thought process I had before, where we just have pistols. It's an eco round. We just want to do economic damage. Going for this retake here, it's maybe not so bad because you are 2v3, but it's probably smarter just to play for exits and to get another rifle that you can take into the next round, right?
Yeah.
So again, like having that plan in mind for these eco rounds, that we actually just want to do economic damage,
It's all good.
Yeah.
which you have done, right? But you didn't actually carry any of those rifles forwards, which would have been way better.
Yeah.
Because you absolutely could have lived there, right? You could have got
Yeah, I
that
could've
one
just
kill you
walked out.
did and just walked out and saved the rifle.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
And even more importantly, that would have allowed you to probably buy an AWP for someone into this round,
I got ult for this round.
which would be really good for your economy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep one weighing.
Because AWPs are expensive, right?
Yeah. Ridiculous guns, but broken as fuck.
And hence, again, why these eco rounds are super important, because a lot of the time they can mean you can get that AWP, you can then snowball.
Do you want to push Telly with me, Breach?
Yeah, we'll swing this together.
So we're now doing exactly the same thing again, and this is the 5th round now. Right, so this is really predictable. If the enemies are looking at this, they're like, you've not peaked this now for the last... You peaked it the first round and the second round, and that was it, right? And basically both on eco rounds. You haven't peaked it once on a rifle round, and the enemies have seen you do this every single time. So they know that you're doing this and not peaking most of the time. They should definitely have this read by now, right? So either you need to change it up, or you need to actually peak it, right? Which I guess would be changing it up because we haven't peaked it for the last few rounds.
be stacking in the same spot, right?
Yeah.
There it is.
This is a little bit problematic because it's a bit of a CS kind of play where you're just like putting the smoke down and not doing anything with it. But like generally in this game, you actually want to get some info because the rotations are really long.
Yeah.
You know, going from A to B is really, really far. Oh, it actually changes to a little pencil as well when I click on the thing. Anyway, So we got no info when you play it like this as well, right? So when you do this smoke, it's free info which you should be peeking onto and getting, right? You should be peeking onto that angle and checking the right hand side over there, getting the info. Maybe we get an early rotate, whatever. Maybe we see that there's one guy here. We haven't actually seen anyone if they're short at all, right? In the other rounds, we don't even know if they're holding the flank, and that's like a really key piece of information. Because if they're not holding that flank, then you could have, as we saw in the previous rounds, pushed the flank and had given your guys a big advantage on the B side of the map, right?
Yeah.
So something we're missing out on a lot.
Don't push Telly with me.
Because you
bitch.
just playing this passive all of the time.
We shouldn't be stacking in the same spot.
There it is.
Really hard for you.
I'm
And if they 5-man execute onto either side now, you just lose, right? The enemies are playing this pretty poorly. But if they were playing like really fast paced, they would have just walked onto one of the sites, right? And we wouldn't have had any info about what they're doing. I guess so. We make the aggro play on B.
You just got me through the smoke. Stage is coming.
Yeah.
1 and 5.
I'm pushing through bathrooms.
You just got me through the smoke.
Why'd you peek like this?
Wait, big boy.
What was that?
Why'd you peek through the smoke rather than round the back of the box where your teammate died?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because there's
Pretty
this
sure
guy
you
here.
just made
Your teammates.
Sorry, I got.
That's okay. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure I just say something just called too short, and so I tried catching off guard. But walking out of smoke's kind of risky for yourself.
Well, I mean, it's fine to make that peek, but you can do it here on hard cover,
Yeah.
right? But instead, you go like through the smoke on the right side of this box and put yourself in open space.
Yeah.
Stage is coming.
Yeah.
1 and 5. 1 and 5.
Because you could have done that from the double box, right? And you would have been better. It would have been exactly the same
Yeah.
peak, but better. And you already knew that your toilets was clear, so there was no reason to go for the alternative peak here. But I think you still had in your mind that the toilets wasn't safe,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
But your
spike
teammates are
is
just
up.
clearing it, so...
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Same again. It's getting real
Yeah, I'm
predictable
pretty
now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do it every single round.
Which is fine. It's nice to have this kind of thing. But imagine if you say one round, you just lob your smoke down here. And then go to B. And make an aggro play with them. They're going to be so thinking that you're pushing it, right? Because you've done something different. And then you like rotated off to B. You just putting your smoke down there. Great. They're just like, what the hell? Or like I said, or even better, maybe you smoke the right side. You push cubby. You check this angle. You see that it's clear, and then maybe you look to push the flank.
Yeah.
I realize I'm drawing, but you can actually see how I'm drawing, moving my cursor. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's still clear.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm just assuming.
And
I
it's-
can see a mouse. So
yeah,
that helps.
it's just one of those things. You've got to realize that if you're doing the same thing every round, you're predictable, and pattern recognition is probably one of the most important things in this game. And that's, again, why a lot of the time we have to pay for info, because if you don't know where they are on the map, particularly on your defense, right? If you don't know where they are as attackers, then you can't make a prediction. You can't start to make a read on them because all you're doing is seeing when they walk onto the site. So you can't see what habits they have, right? You can't see, oh, look, they're always putting one guy, let's say they've always got one guy playing short. Okay, that's a piece of information. And if you see it every round, okay, look, we can make a read on that they've always got this one guy playing short. And if he's not playing short, well, look, they're doing something different to what they've normally done. That gives us a piece of information that we can make a play off of, right? But we're not even getting that information. And we're 3 on A this time, which is
Okay.
like, why? We're three on A and we're not making an aggro play, which is kind of strange to me.
2 dead, long. They're stunned.
I'm gonna rotate to B.
Yeah, one's tagged 78 long.
I baited Telly.
Play the 3v2 here.
So all you've done by doing that teleporter is tell them that you're coming on the flank,
Yeah.
which isn't good, right? Because you actually don't want them to even be looking backwards. Because even so, he could be playing passive. He could have gone to site, but they're still going to be looking towards hooker, right? From site.
Yeah.
So all you've done is tell them that you're here,
Yeah, planting.
Blinding
which you
sight.
probably didn't want
Inside
to
the
do,
tube,
right? You should have
inside
just
the
pushed the
tube.
flank and not gone through the teleporter.
Not kill my ally. One
Big
enemy
ulcer.
remaining.
Nice.
Last one,
Last
elbow.
one's Vince.
Elbow.
Push the
Elbow,
over,
elbow.
push the over.
You talked about this already. You're kind of overexposing yourself when you could be playing
Yeah.
further to your left, right?
Just holding
And
a
just-
tight angle, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Still elbow. Probably didn't need to ult. Cover going out.
Probably
Oh
not.
yeah, no. So I see her here for half a second.
Yeah, I'm watching CT.
See there, but I
Skip
just
that
assumed it wasn't her,
You know,
and I get shotgun for it.
probably didn't need to ult.
Didn't actually see her. But also, smoking like
Yeah,
this
you
is
see-
probably not good.
No, you see as yeah.
'Cause you
Nah,
could
but
have
when I
smoked
teleport,
from, like, we don't actually know whether she has a gun or not, right?
yeah.
Well, maybe we did because you may have checked the economy before.
Probably didn't need to ult.
But you smoked this from the open, which is
One of you
you
watches
could
the
have got
push
caught
and
out for it,
goes.
right?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
No,
you
you
do.
see her
Yeah,
half
you
a
see
second
her
there?
head going into
Yeah,
it. Yes.
but I
yeah, yeah.
assumed I assumed I was seeing things, but it was actually her, and I just
Oh,
got
just
shotgun
follow
in
me,
the
follow
foot.
me. Fuck.
And then she gets.
Great.
It's a good spot, actually.
I didn't see her either, to
Bro,
be
you
honest.
expect-
The
You
first
think one
time.
of us is up?
No, I saw it, but I assumed I was seeing things, and she didn't push stupidly like that, but she did.
Okay.
Wait, don't
But
put me then.
really, I should have sprayed it, but I just like assumed it wasn't.
Bro,
So,
I don't
I
expect
just
you
want to hear the
think one of
discussion
us is
here.
up there? Surprise.
'Cause were they on? Were they on an eco on that round?
Is right.
Because it's something
I
that is
have no
something I
idea.
need to make sure I'm actually checking because it's so important that we recognize what their economy is like into each round, right? Because you know how they're gonna if they're playing an eco round again. This goes back to the same stuff that I've said before. If they're playing an eco round, they should be playing it for economic damage. They're therefore going to be playing that a certain way, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if they're on a buy round, it's going to be different. So knowing when they're on eco
Wait,
rounds
don't
is
buy me that.
obviously really helpful.
Yeah.
Oh well, we definitely needed the res there, I guess.
Was that like 5k, 4k?
No, sorry.
Yeah, they've got loads
of
saw
money.
her,
They've got loads
of
I
money
just
this round,
assumed it
so-
wasn't her.
Yeah, I didn't know for a full buy.
So they have a buy. So again, we're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they smoked a short.
So he did a dodgy wall so he can try and bait a peek.
Okay, I'm watching it with camera.
But then in which case we don't need to smoke it, right?
Yeah,
Broke my
yeah. No, he communicated it late to me, so I'd already thrown it.
I'm about to get fucked.
Spray it, spray it.
Aim in, aim in.
Finding. Oh, I just fucked my
Oh.
telly.
I fucked with. Yeah, no, look, it's tragic.
Starting short.
And then I'm pretty sure I die here because they pushed the tele. I pushed the smoke? I'm not sure.
I'll check. Oh, quick.
Nah, I pushed stupidly through the smoke.
Let's
I
go.
die.
We didn't. I mean, to be fair. Okay, yeah, we didn't need to push it because we got a teammate on the flank.
Check. Oh, quick.
If teammate on the flank dies.
Oh, he died.
But
Yeah,
then,
but if I held like 2 seconds later, it would have been a double peak.
well, you don't even need to. You just need to count it down,
Yeah.
right? All you need to do is like, okay, can we double peak? 3, 2, and just go. Can we double peak? 3, 2, 1, and just call it, and then you just both go out at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But your sage would peak at the same time. Instead, you both peak one by one, so he can spray transfer from one to the other. It's perfect for him. And we make this 4v2. In fact, it's even worse than that. It's actually a 5v2. It's a 5v2, and because we don't coordinate, because we don't say, can we peek at the same time? Can you hold this angle? Whatever, right? Like, well, Brimstone doesn't even need to push, right? We're 5v2. We don't need to push. In fact, it's probably better not to push, right? When you have a man advantage, you should play passive. Only when you have a disadvantage do you need to make a play, right? Because you don't actually need to get kills right now. You've won the round if you don't do anything. They're not going to be able to get onto a site as 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check. Oh, quick.
Ah, fuck. I'm dead.
Okay, yeah, we don't need to watch that again. That's kind of frustrating that we make this so difficult.
Spike planted.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
so
crosshair
many
placement's
people.
really bad.
No, so he's very weird. So I was watching his stream.
Well played.
So I'd never played
Oh,
this.
that's
The
fine.
first time I played with this dude, and I watched his stream in his warm up, and he has his crosshair at chest placement normally, or like chest, lower body, torso, and he'll flick to the head when
Dude,
like
as soon as
practicing
smokes
with
go down,
the
my
bots.
FPS drops to like 2. I
It's, like,
literally
really
say,
weird.
I don't know what's
Really?
going on.
What?
Like it works for him because he normally like top 2 in the
Ryzen
leaderboard, but
7
it's just
2700
really weird.
1070 Ti.
Really, really weird.
At 1070.
What? There is
Yeah,
no way.
I say.
Give me a vandal.
Dude, it
Give me
is-
a vandal,
Okay, so
give
we're
me
talking
a
about
vandal,
random
vandal.
bullshit now, which is great.
Yeah, we're
but we
talking
are
about
actually
someone-
rolling them,
That's
so
We're talk- Yeah,
I
yeah, we're
actually
talking
have
about
no idea
someone's
what
someone was playing like a gaming laptop, but they were hitting like 30 frames on like an i5 and like a was it like 1060 or something,
Have you done any drive?
and
recent
so
drive
they were like dying.
No, actually, I please should.
time the smoke. How long do omen smokes last? I actually don't know the answer to this question, so
I really don't know either. I've just got the timing roughly in my head.
it's definitely worth checking that, right? Because if you know when you smoke it, you can actually do it perfectly. Because I don't think that other smoke had disappeared, had it?
Yeah, no, it disappeared when it was going down.
They smoked on.
We're holding the same
Intuition.
angle.
So if you like watch
too
it again,
strong.
you'll see it poof
and you
out
guys
like
will
as it's
rotate
going
with-
back down onto the box.
Oh, I was gonna go for 3.
I'm gonna rotate too.
So-
I rolled them off in
What read can we now have on the enemy team? Because there's a pretty hard read that we should have at this point. And then we'll talk about how you actually go for this retake. Any patterns in their play that we can notice?
I mean, Sage would be in hookah. I say I don't really remember anything about the other two.
So, part of the issue is that you're not peeking on A short, so you actually don't know what they've been doing the other rounds. But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that they're 5-manning B when they're executing it, which means that the flank is free, right?
Oh yeah.
We probably should have recognized this earlier, because you then could have been checking short, right? You're not even using your one way. Again, like this is the, I don't know, how millionth time that we've seen it. Like what, we've seen it 7 round, 8 round, we've seen it every round, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't used it. We've literally used it for 6 of those 8 rounds. So what's the point? Why even throw it if you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
It's not giving you any information, right? It's not like they're spraying through it or anything. It's just smoking you off so you can't actually get any info. It's actually making your life harder if you're not peeking it, right? I'm not saying you should peek
Yeah.
it every round, because then you would be predictable, right? But you've been predictable in that you've thrown it and not peeked it. Maybe they don't even know that, because the way that they're playing would suggest to me that they're not particularly intelligent players. But the point still stands, right? Because if they had that read on you and they see you're never peeking it, they might suspect that you're not even there.
hookah, so they don't have the bomb on the site yet. Or they probably broke.
But we should be making some sort of other play, right? We can't do
bomb,
exactly
bomb,
the same thing every single round.
Yeah, okay. One teleport.
It's just silly, right?
Sage is hookah. She has to get through the wall. We can push. No, she broke the wall. Jet's in
Tag
hookah.
113.
We should have checked that corner.
On site.
Maybe just blind hookah ape and then. Careful of plant. Oh, yeah. Side.
On top of side?
Last one hookah, last one.
Not
Oh
GG.
no, it wasn't. My bad. Good round
round.
anyway.
You also slow peek everything here, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah, because against someone good, I just get insta one pot.
Yeah, you would have died on every single one of these peaks. And you didn't check the corner either. And you also didn't check this corner.
On site.
Which, I don't know, timing wise, let's go back.
Hookah. She has to get through the wall. We can push. No, she broke the wall.
One 100% could have got
Like,
timing here, right? Maybe not this corner, but definitely this right-hand corner. Someone could have been in that. Incredibly
Maybe
unlikely,
just
I guess.
blind Hookah ape and then
But yeah, the way that you check this is really bad, right? Like you say, you just you slow walk around every single corner. A good player would have just one banged you
careful of plant.
on any of these
Side,
peaks.
side.
On top of side.
Last one Hookah, last one.
Not
Oh
today.
no, it wasn't. My bad. Good round.
But like, okay, and did you call the blind?
On site.
Maybe just blind Hookah ape and
He asked for it.
careful of plant. Oh, side, side, side.
On top of side.
But you could tell him you're actually gonna do it, right? Or no blind, because he can't just expect because if you don't have it and you don't say anything, great, right? But like, well, it's shit, right? You say I'm blinding, okay, you ready? Like blinding 3, 2, 1. You throw the blind. He goes out, you go out, you peek out, and if there's someone on top of the site like there was here, he's in a crossfire.
Last one Hookah, last one.
Not
Oh
today.
no, it wasn't. My bad. Good round
round.
anyway.
Lies, deception.
But again, we don't coordinate things, which is like this is like clearly a deficit that we're seeing every single time, right? We've not a single
Yeah.
time coordinated a peak.
Running with an
at all.
i5, like a laptop
Yeah.
i5 6500 shouldn't be lagging, right?
No.
No, none of the builds
Um,
mentioned thus far should be like literally.
For
If you've
some
got
reason-
Okay, can we? Do you mind if we just skip? Because I'm looking at the time and thinking we really do want to make sure that we actually see some of the B side. So, do you mind if we
Yeah,
skip
go
to
for
the T side? Because otherwise we might not get a chance to see that much of
Right.
it.
Nothing, Yeehole.
Pistol round, maybe.
I'm covering it if you want to get the wall down.
Got one in mark.
In fact,
I'm going
we can go a little bit over time. It's okay because I do want to make sure we get like a couple of buy rounds in.
Yeah.
So let's just summarize the stuff that we've said on or that we've seen on the CT side because it's really important that, like I said, actually before we started, the most important thing is that you're improving, right? It doesn't matter if we're winning or losing games. The most important thing is to be getting better so that you can win games. The winning or losing is kind of a byproduct of that, right? So, what would you say is probably the most important thing that we've talked about so far that we've kind of seen regularly?
What was that? Sorry.
What would you say is the most important thing that you need to change?
Utilizing one ways for information, and or like adapting to the opponents.
So this is
playstyle.
two different things, right? So you're utilizing
Yeah.
your one ways.
Yeah,
Like
for information.
if you're placing it, you need to get the info from it, right?
Yeah.
Placing it. Sure, you are using it to get some info. Pattern recognition, which is the next thing you were kind of getting at, right?
Yeah.
I'm writing these down, by the way, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm
So,
just trying to fucking log into stuff. but I can't
Pattern
remember.
recognition. Noticing the patterns in the enemy play to get some kind of read, right? They do this, that means they're doing this. And that means that you can therefore adapt your play based on what you've seen them do. Yeah, absolutely. Those are two really important points. Okay. Anything else?
Coordinating double picks.
Absolutely right. Probably one of the most important ones, actually. Coordinating double peaks. Even if it means calling a 3-2-1, right?
Yeah.
Because for some people it can just be, are you ready to peak? Yeah, peaking, and then you just both peak on the peaking, right? That if your synergy's that good, but even like calling a 3-2-1 at the start is usually just makes it easier, right? Okay, you ready? Like 2, or even just 2-1 because you don't tend to need 3 seconds or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. So like, okay, I'm gonna flash and then we'll peak. Okay, flashing. And then you could just peek on the flashing. That's probably okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
A minor one
couple
is
more.
just like being say like how I'm peeking angles.
Yep,
Uh,
that was one of the
So
ones I was
slow
going to mention.
peeking and then slow peeking and like not exposing my whole body. It's
Yeah.
like only like peeking the angle, like a specific angle and exposing for that angle.
Yes. So what you want to do, like jiggle peek, essentially, right? You want to strafe in.
Yeah.
You want to strafe onto the angle that you want to hold, and you want to stop. And you want to strafe onto the next angle you want to hold, and you want to stop. And then strafe onto the next angle, right? And you don't want to be
Yeah.
shift walking around all these corners, because that way you're
Yeah.
giving someone else advantage, right? So don't shift around all corners. Commit to each peak, right? Is really what you want to do. So strafe onto each angle. Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to mention that we saw a few times is we're not pushing the flank when we like have the information to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So aggressively pushing flanks. Right, like if you see there's no one there, you should be taking that part of the map. Simple as that, right? If you see there's no one short, push into the cubby or something, right? And then if you see there's no one holding that angle after 10 seconds, like maybe it gets to 1 minute. Oh look, there's no one here. Okay, I'll start pushing into the next corner, right? I'll play like the little one and done spot, something like that, right? And then this all ties into don't be predictable, right? Or better, be unpredictable, right? Don't do the same thing every round. Say one round you push the flank, and then the next round you push the flank, and then the next round you don't push the flank, but you do the same thing, right? You say you throw a smoke, but you don't push the flank, or whatever, right? You want to be unpredictable so that they can't have a read on you. Okay. And maybe I'll just skip through to a buy round. Skip through so that they have a buy as well, because
They breach
it'd
like
be nice to get some sort of
my
discussion
fingers
of this
weren't
as well.
working.
Oh,
Okay, so they forced, right? Lose a round.
down. I don't know.
It's just like I can't believe I don't know.
I ran out too far because of the.
Yeah, in cubby, dude.
This is
I
maybe the
tell you what, I'm
closest
gonna hold
thing.
smokes. Or do you want to play default?
Kind
or
of
do you want to
psychopath.
I'll peek short. I'll see if they will again.
Well, I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna go back to the start of this pre-round.
No, what
Dude,
am I doing?
the shotguns, dude. The shotguns are such aids. It's crazy.
I completely whiffed that.
I think this might be my clutch
I
round.
think you hit him
My
twice.
ping's like jumping hard,
It's all
up
good,
and
it's
down.
all
I
good.
don't know.
It's just like I can't believe I don't know.
I ran out too far because.
So there's all this random shit talk about the round before, when the actual time you want to talk about the round before is when you're VOD reviewing like this,
I
right?
just got fucking inspected.
No one
Yeah.
actually cares.
Honestly,
I got
Yeah, honestly, these are friends. Like these isn't my team. These are just friends, so we're not really. I don't know,
Yeah,
I
okay,
guess
you're not really
we're
tryharding.
sort of distracted. No.
Yeah,
Inspected through the fucking smoke.
because it's like
You
one of those
walled
things
that
where I'm
deep
like,
and then you
well,
sat like a
we should be
bear.
talking about what we're doing this
I
round.
tell you, well, I'm gonna hold smokes. Or do you want to play default?
Kind
or
of
do you want to play
psychopath.
You don't
I'll
even
be
get an
short, I'll
answer
see
to
if
like
they
how
will.
you're going to play this round, and then you're like peeking this solo. It's just like, okay, what are you doing this round, right?
Yeah.
I got wall and a smoke here.
Because maybe this is a B lean. I don't know. Like we're leaning towards B, and maybe that's
I
what
think
we're
we're
going to
kind
take.
of like
But
we're being like defaulting. So I'm just looking for a pick
Alright.
and information.
Sorry about
Breach, can you clear?
Third
post
one
left
in
and
hookah. Just definitely play left side hookah.
No, right
Raise
side.
the right side.
Maybe he's right side, yeah. Thank
TV?
God he was using really.
Oh my god.
Fucking spam me through the smoke, dude. You're joking.
One on long, one on long.
Get the bomb down.
Then
Try
probably
and
down.
push the long guy and get the bomb down for the money.
I'm surprised you didn't commit to this. You probably should have committed to this like straight away.
Yeah, no, I was afraid that I was gonna get caught out by the rank.
Well, you knew
I was-
exactly
I
where
was
both you
afraid.
knew where all of them were. You knew he's long. You knew the other guy's going to be CT. You can peek long without being seen from CT, so you fought a 1v1. And this is
Yeah.
the key thing. Like I said, so when we're talking about man advantages, they have a massive man advantage. So they're going to play passive. They should play passive. We have to play aggressive because we have
Yeah,
the
that's
man
the opposite.
disadvantage, right? It's
They
the exact
definitely don't
opposite.
play passive.
Okay, so they're
Yeah, no, I
idiots.
remember.
I mean,
Yeah.
all they need to do is set up crossfires for when you jump out, right? And then set up a crossfire on the other entrance, and you're stuck here.
No.
So this is really fucking stupid from them. And we know... So the CT Kai could have gone elbow, but he's probably still CT.
And ult.
They know exactly where you were because you reloaded.
So the question
Yeah.
is, do I ult?
So playing passive here is really awkward for you.
Do a smoke on a B and then maybe ult. I don't know.
30
up to you.
seconds left.
You just ult onto A. They're both here.
Teleport onto B, dude. Shoot them out.
Teleport into B.
Yeah, dude. Just teleport onto B and wait for them.
There you go.
Okay, so you got one in market.
Let's try and back off.
So
to B1.
plant for short.
He's fine.
Still in market.
He's actually an idiot.
No, he's talking about a bit behind.
I can't... Because this TP was incredibly predictable, right?
Yeah.
Like, where else would you have TP'd?
Still in market.
The smarter thing would have been to cancel this and play here. And then peek out, right?
Yeah.
Play the off angle here. I don't know. The difficulty is if the other guy comes from CT. If he comes from heaven, then it's kind of problematic for you, actually.
Yeah.
But there's no way he didn't hear you TP there. That's completely ridiculous from him.
No, he's talking about a bit behind.
He was CT.
I think he was CT, dude.
No, he hit the first tripwire, did he not?
No,
No,
no, no.
Ren hit both of them.
I think
I
she hit
thought.
both, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Peek all of that without scoping in.
Oh my god.
Dude, what a round,
Nice
dude.
job.
That was
Whoa,
one.
We get a clip.
So you probably should have scoped in
He hit the
when you're
first
peeking
tripwire,
it.
did he not?
Yeah.
No, Ren
Because the
hit both.
difference with the AWP is that you're gonna one-shot someone, right? So...
Yeah.
But if you peek without scoping, they can spray you down in the time it takes you to scope in, right? And shoot.
Yeah.
Well, not even spray you down, they just have to shoot you in the head, right?
Oh my god.
Dude,
That was a nice round, though.
all died and then you brought it back like that.
Bro, I fucking... Dude, I just... Like,
Well, I mean, it was kind of nice.
Except the end there, we won't talk about it.
Hey, Henna, I found out
It was also like
I just had, like, the
90%
best
like
orgasm of my
autistic
life.
place from them.
Yeah,
For some reason, this
yeah.
monitor is-
Accurate. That's pretty
75
much that round in a
The
nutshell.
monitor's problem, not the actual computer.
What are you
Wait,
saying?
you're only 75 hertz?
No.
90%
so this is
autism,
the
10%
laptop
panic
and
from
I
me.
have a normal monitor from my friend, but the monitor-
I don't know of any 70 hertz laptops.
No, 75 hertz monitor.
Yeah.
One in-
Oh, he's hooking up his laptop to
copy?
external monitor, is he?
I
Yeah, and
heard that.
it's the
Is he
external
doing it
monitor.
over HDMI?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an idiot then.
They
No,
heard
no, no, no,
Spike
no,
Drop.
no. Yeah, he'll
Soon
sit.
probably here with Stage, I think.
HDMI can only do 60 hertz. dude.
It's
Hail
only
stage.
HDMI, that's the thing.
Heal Sage,
Oh,
Hemo.
sorry. Sorry.
Holy fuck. Sorry, it's just like listening to the comms is so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's literally a fuck fest. If this was Teams comms, I'd be scared.
Were you two really fighting over who got the fucking orb, and that's why I died?
I'd actually be horrified if it was.
So this is our default. Why'd you leave B?
Sorry, I'm deaf, dude.
No idea.
You swing through.
Because you still
I
got
was just
one.
looking for a
You
pic-
still got 1 minute, right? You could just wait until they peak. And if you want to look for a pick, walk up long. Check this angle. Oh lord, you can't see
Yeah.
my arrows, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Walk
no,
up
no,
long,
yeah, no,
check
yeah,
the
yeah.
sight angle,
Yeah, have the angle onto the right side of sight.
and then just
Back
chill.
angle.
Chilling in garden's actually really OP because you can then go back to the teleporter, right?
No, he's already got it.
Yeah.
Particularly as Omen, because you can then play left side of garden, or sorry, right side of garden for you. Play in that little corner if you get screwed,
Bolted here as well.
and then just TP out and go through the teleporter.
I've seen a lot of people hold the angle and like bait TP back into the left corner and they'll just walk right past.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you could do that too.
35 seconds.
Yeah, I reckon we commit to A.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, bridge.
I'll
time.
bait B, I'll bait B, hold on. Oh wait, we're down time.
You don't have enough time.
Hold on, 20 seconds, mate.
Rim re-smoked, yeah.
Bridge.
Can we actually lose this round from panic?
Make space for your team, bro.
Oh yeah, no, because I TP. So I TP
guy had a
into my
rifle?
smoke.
Okay, you gotta
On
get
U
bomb
hole.
there,
I'm planting.
10
I
seconds.
walk into it and I
One
just
U-hole,
walk point
one
blank
U-hole,
into
one
someone.
U-hole.
Also, why didn't you pick up? This guy had a rifle in front of you, right?
30 time. You don't have enough time.
I would probably.
This
Oh,
dead
I
guy here.
It might be a
Really
vandal.
hard to see. Yeah, I think it's a vandal.
Yeah, it's a I think yeah, it looked like a vandal barrel.
So probably should have taken it, given that you're executing onto a site, and then you can come back and pick up the AWP at the end of the round.
One gate,
Yeah,
you gotta get bomb
definitely.
first.
I'm planting.
So I just walked
One
point
U-haul,
blank.
one
Had
U-haul,
like,
one U-haul.
Into that guy, which is really awkward.
yeah.
I got it down, but they.
Watch for the shotty play.
You got ult.
And it would have been slightly less awkward if you'd had, excuse me, had a
The
rifle.
gun.
You probably could
The
have just
decent gun.
sprayed through it as well before that point,
Yeah.
in hindsight.
I hope they didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was like 4 fucking smokes in that corner. It was nuts.
They did.
Bro,
Well, it was problematic because it wasn't just you, like, you had a Cypher cage as well.
Yeah.
It just made it, and jet smokes. So it was just like a massive fuck fiesta there.
Yeah.
This
And
Raze
because he was in the
has
omen smoke, he had the
shotguns
advantage.
and abilities all
Yeah.
Raze needs to be deleted from the fucking game, I swear to God.
Omen equals bad smoke. Nah, kidding.
He just loves the shotgun, man. He just shot
It's dumb.
his head off.
No, the smoke can be really OP if you can use them properly.
Wait, did you die to the fast water player? Lol.
Yep.
Yeah, I need help.
If we get the
You
refrag, I
just
can
slow
ult you.
orb that guy, and so you can get the rev.
Water player? Lol.
if you wait a
You
second,
should
get a pick along.
explode the corner and then ult B site.
Wait, did you die to the fast water player? Lol.
Yep.
Yeah, I need
If we
help.
get the- If we get the refrag,
I'm not going to comment on that because, like you say, you're getting used to this sense. And I think it's just
Yeah.
practice at this point.
He pushed long with an ult.
Yeah, yeah. I know
It's
when
more than anything else, just a mechanical error.
Yeah, because I've been using like just the
Can I walk
bots
behind
and
you, I think?
There's the
what's it called?
He's
The
there.
Kovac.
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
like
to help.
Raina's holding it, but yeah.
I feel like if I get one kill in my ult. Yeah, okay.
Hammer, can you heal me?
He was pretty predictable there.
No,
How long?
I can't.
Yeah, if it was a fast speak, I probably would have had him a bit better.
And then we can take B, hopefully.
The slow peeking thing actually does seem to be a consistent problem.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Okay, they're coming,
It's
guys.
still in mid.
Oh shit, second one peeked me.
because I'm always worried about.
Like, you actually slow
Information.
peek onto this whole angle here.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah.
He had an
Yeah,
ult
fuck
long
myself.
last scene.
You've got ult. Maybe grab bomb, ult A.
30 seconds left.
I like it.
Watch me die.
No, no,
Okay.
no, he literally thinks you're there.
10 seconds left.
Wow.
Oh no.
Wow, dude. He totally just called you.
That was unfortunate because I don't think
Totally called
there was
the
any
bluff.
way.
Yeah, no, he didn't call the bluff. He's just too stupid to even realize.
Yeah, I was
He
trying. I
just
baited.
goes
I
for it.
tried baiting this
We're actually
onto B,
battling
so I'd
ourselves
rotate
to
A.
make it too complicated.
Yeah, every
Dude,
time
we're
we-
negative 200 IQing ourselves.
Well, I think the
actually
difficulty is you can't actually. He didn't have time to get to A. I don't know why everyone's like calling him stupid because he actually physically didn't have time.
Jesse, love you. I'll buy you. as
Because if he was on long, then while you were TPing, he ran across B site. And then he was
Yeah.
like, just CT, and then he heard the plant.
a single box when I get my card.
I guess maybe we save this just to guarantee the win in the round after.
Yeah, I think so.
We need to just out dumb them.
We need to play Dum Dum.
We need to
I
dumb
think, I
it
think
down
you're
to
alright for
level.
now, Squeaky. I wouldn't worry.
No,
We're
I've been
playing
trying to
big
fix my
stupid
friend's
boy.
laptop at the same time.
Rush, baths only.
Ah, boosted.
Oh no. She's dinked, I hit her.
So again, eco rounds. Aggression is everything, right? You just want a 5-man down here. That should have been your play.
Thank you.
Almost certainly. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you go, whether you rush here or rush B long. Any of them can work.
Sage is default.
They're flanking.
Okay, you're dead, so we don't care.
So the head.
He's true.
But-
We now have a humongous buy.
It's okay, we got a full buy. Let's end it now so we can get our rank ups.
You don't buy an orb.
1440p monitor?
No, it's normal 1080.
It's 1080? I mean,
Yeah, no, I can't. I got.
If-
I don't have a
if
card
you
at the
beat
moment,
HDMI,
so
I don't know.
It's
An
just
old
cable.
once I can, we'll go on a freeway
Oh,
day.
no, it's
Okay.
not even about the cable, it's about the laptop. If the laptop isn't HDMI 2.0 capable, if it's an older laptop, that's
Go, go,
that.
go, go.
Focus on the game, yeah?
Teleport.
Walled off teleport.
Nice. Like CT.
Oh, yes, fuck.
kill. Okay, long. Garden.
Wait, I
He's
thought I had
dead.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. I don't think
Probably
until
good.
I actually asked.
Going back to the
Did
bomb.
we kill the one that teleported?
No, no, no.
Yeah,
there's
he
still
did.
one
Yeah, that's what I literally just asked them.
You're like,
Don't pack the ult.
they say no. They say no.
One more CT, last one.
He was. I'm gonna smoke it.
How did I whiff that? I was expecting him to be taller, not gonna lie.
Okay.
I can't tell you why. I was just.
I mean, if there was someone TP, then playing there's fine, right? Because your teammate would have like baited
Yeah,
going onto you.
yeah,
Should have actually been really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
become such a meme.
let's watch this last round, and then we're pretty much at time
Yeah.
then.
Stacked on the wall.
Have you seen that? The clip?
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I put it on stream by accident.
The slow peeking thing looks so much worse when you're playing T side, right? Like it doesn't look so bad when you're playing
He's right.
because you played your CT side so passively.
Smoking.
It didn't look nearly as bad.
Might not be clear actually.
Up,
You
up,
didn't check
right and
left.
Right and left.
Didn't check left.
Okay, let's just slow down.
No.
You flashed the guy on
I
right,
got,
so you only need to check left, right?
We really need breach to.
yeah, I didn't even hit the one on the right either with the flash, I don't think.
Wait till he's
It's fine.
second.
Let's just back out. Let's just slow it down.
He's right side.
Let's just slow it down. And you don't say again nothing about coordinating this, right? Like I'll peek out, I'll check left, you check right.
Yeah.
Nothing, right? Even if we're not trying that hard, like it's just makes your life so difficult going for this solo stuff, especially if you're stacking up, right? That's the one advantage you have from stacking up is that you can coordinate stuff.
Smoking.
Might not be clear actually.
Up,
But we
right
don't
and
check
left,
close
right and
close left, which should always be the play. And this is the second time that we're not checking deep corners as well, right? Because you didn't do it when you pushed long before
Wait, I didn't see
elbow
it.
before
Must have
either.
crossed over after the smoke.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit lazy there.
Yeah, A3.
Okay, one hookah. I don't know the other one. You heard him. One heaven, one hookah. Okay.
I just gotta get closer.
Okay, teammates, we don't care. Do they clutch this round?
One enemy remaining.
I knew it.
No,
No.
he dies this one.
Okay, maybe we'll watch one more. But again, that the biggest fault in that last play was that you didn't coordinate, but you also didn't check the close corner, which was really just.
Oh, the big
Troll.
thrusts are coming
Okay,
out.
fair request.
Yeah, I mean,
Are we-
you've got to assume your flash hits, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
And commit to one, because if you trade 1 for 1, it's actually better for you because your T side. The 1 for 1 trades are better, right? Because it just means your team can rotate off and take a man advantaged fight on another site.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's gonna be right there.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
He is. He's tagged 60. Good trade. Oh, we have flares?
I can just ult you.
Clear.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys.
Alright, smokes it down. Smokes it down.
Oh my god, I got shot through the fucking smoke. Dude, the smokes were not down. Don't.
The smokes were not down, right? Again, this is one of those things where, like, if you're going to fast execute off this kill, you got to smoke, and then tell them when to go, right? And you need to know the timing on how long it takes your smokes to bloom.
No, he's in U-Haul.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch it on the map, right? Because you can see them
Yeah.
blooming on the map.
Still on you.
Yeah. You see when they go dark.
Wow.
And again, we peek
That was
out
almost
without
shield.
coordinating anything. We didn't talk with our teammate about peeking together.
That sucks.
You could see me, dude.
Fuck.
Okay,
the difference?
that was such a quick round. Maybe we do one last one.
Alright,
Yeah, I know. So
I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff, right?
fuck off,
Oh my god.
So they've done this play
dude. I can't
so
even
many
start
times
shooting
now.
every time.
But they have no read on you.
It's annoying.
Is it simply that he's checking short and then he's going for that play? I wonder.
I have the spike.
Because it's a really, really strange play to make that teleport play there.
Yeah. Well, actually, it happens quite a lot, to be honest.
I've got an idea, but they're stupid, right?
Yeah, Razor's still A short. She didn't teleport.
It's a strange play to make without any read. Okay, teammates. It's just
Yeah.
teammates. Whatever.
Site.
Oh, do they
Pretty sure
win?
that's the last round.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, was there anything extra that we wanted to point out. So the only thing that like we need to make sure we're peeking properly.
Yeah.
That was like a real issue there, right?
Sorry.
Slicing the pie properly, right? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by slicing the pie? Where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, right. So you pick each location you're going to peek, and you peek each one of them individually, right? But you commit to each peek, right? As in, you don't hold shift, you just D and then A or whatever, or A and then D to commit to each peek and do it one by one, right?
Yeah.
I've kind of already got that written down, right? Slice the pie, yeah. So anything else that we saw? The coordinating stuff again was like a really big issue consistently across all of it, right? There wasn't a single time where we're like, can we peek on my flash or can we peek on my smokes or whatever, right? And you actually killed your teammates in that in the last round that we watched, whereby your smokes weren't down.
Yeah.
And they all went onto site expecting them to be down, but we actually didn't wait until they were until they bloomed. I don't think anything else that was particular to T side. I'm not really sure there is, to be honest. Like the peaking things is quite a big deal. And a lot of the other stuff was more, I'd say, like macro, in the sense that it was like based on what the team was doing as a whole, right? There wasn't much, this is our plan, we're going to do this. So it was kind of difficult to say whether you're doing a lot of stuff wrong or right. Oh yeah, checking the deep corners. Properly checking deep corners, right? If you're going to be the one entering, you're the one that has to check the deep corner, right?
Yeah.
If you go first, should be, or just in general, right? Like, make sure to check deep corners.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy when clearing stuff in general. So that goes for hooker, that goes for when you were pushing through elbow, just in general, right? You always want to check the deep corners. There's no point taking that risk, right? And unless you're like really, really pressed for time, where you're just like, I know exactly where he is, I have to run onto site. Okay. Do you have any questions? I think we pretty much covered everything, right?
No, I think that should be everything.
Okay, cool.